Hey everybody, it's Julie. Thanks for joining me here for some Bible journaling. I'm using the Such a Time as This Faith Art Collection for the month of July from Creative Retreat Kids. And I've gone through, done a study. I love the book of Esther. And as I was going through it, it talked about how Esther was the main character and God as the character is never mentioned, but God is certainly the driving force behind it. So I'm going to be doing some journaling here, focusing on the steps that Esther took to respond to God's plan. And what I'm going to do is use some of the faith-filled digitals that I've cut out. I want to use these labels. My first inspiration was this card. So you could easily just do this on this card, and I may still do that, but I am going to use some of these other things. I'm going to make kind of a waterfall, a cascade, something like that. Here, I may do a little bit of background on my page, but we're going to get started. Okay, I'm beginning by cutting out this spray of flowers. I printed out the devotional front page, and I liked the size of that. You could cut it straight from the devotional if you want. So I cut out that little flower spray, and here these are from the pattern swatches in the Faith-Filled Digitals, and I printed them on cardstock. I'm going to make a strip of that patterned paper to be my anchor for all of my labels, and then I also used my We Are Memory Keepers tab punch to punch out a tab for the top of my page. I've cut out a bunch of the labels. I did print out multiple copies of them. And then here I've got some images. You can see that I started off by putting the word God on that bottom label, and I'm going to not end up using that. Instead, here I'm putting the word Esther on this small circle that I cut out, and it's just so pretty. I love these alpha tiles. They're very, very versatile. Now notice I am kind of making my letters wonky. They fit better that way. And also it just makes it easier so you don't have to be so precise and perfect in your lineup. Feel free to do that, but sometimes I go wonky on purpose. And I'm just trying to see kind of what this is going to look like, getting my colors lined up. So the story of Esther, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that now as I'm putting my labels on, as I'm putting my letters on my labels. So the story of Esther, she is made queen, and Mordecai comes to her after Haman's plot to kill the Jews, and he comes to Esther, well, not physically, he sends a message to her saying, you need to go before the king and plead for your people. And Esther's response is a series of steps. First, Esther listens to what Mordecai says, what God says through Mordecai. The second step is she prays. She has her maidens, she has all the people, all of the Jewish people fast and pray for 3 days with her. The third step is Esther trusts. She trusts God that he will work out this plan, and that she trusts God with her life. Number 4, Esther waits. There's a part of this story where she goes before the king, and all she asks for is for him to come to a banquet. And then he comes to a second banquet, and she's to that banquet, and then she asks for him to come to a second banquet. She waits for God's timing. She isn't yet convinced that God is ready for her to approach that subject. And then number 5, the fifth step is Esther acts. Once she's convinced that God has led her and God's timing is right, then she acts. She pleads her case before the king, and God saves the people, the Jewish people, through Esther because she followed his steps. She responded by listening, by praying, by trusting, by waiting and acting. And I really was impressed and moved by this process. And so in my own study time, my own devotion time, I prayed, Lord, help me to listen to your instructions, pray for your strength, Trust in your power, wait on your guidance, and act on your plan. So I've made all my labels with those steps. And here I stamped my date on one of the labels, and you can see I got that little stray black mark. So I'm going to come in and add some black splatter paint. Make it look like it's supposed to be there. Now I did wait for that to dry so I don't make it any messier than it is. And now I'm just putting all my pieces down. I used the washi tape that came in the kit, and I made a tab for the top that says called. And now I'm outlining all of the little stickers that I use, the labels, the alpha tiles, just to make them stand out more. Especially the colorful hearts and things like that, so that they stand out against the background color. And I'm just adhering all of this to my page. So I'm leaving some of it unglued, unadhered, so that you can lift up those edges and still read the text underneath, so it doesn't cover up the Bible, the words in the Bible, because this margin is a little small, so that's why I'm leaving it unadhered. I've got a little bit of washi tape left, and I'm just going to put that onto that date label. So a very simple process here. I hope that you have enjoyed this study in the book of Esther, and I pray that God will help you to listen to Him, pray to Him, trust in Him, wait on Him, and act for Him. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Until next time, bye-bye.